And Seth, what do you think so far about what you've heard in terms of the orders? It is expected to be a much lower order book than what we've seen in past years.
It is, Becky. That's the news here is the lack of news this year. Of course, air shows aren't everything. In the end, what matters is, at the end of the year, you look back how many orders, how many deliveries, especially in terms of cash flow for the manufacturers, both the airframes and the engines and all the suppliers. But no question, this, when you think back a half decade or so to the shows where you had orders by the hundreds coming out of the Arabian Gulf, coming out of China, this show looks to be nothing like that here in the early stages.
What do you think the bigger problem is, potential problem for Boeing, the grounding of the 737 MAX or the trade war with China?
The longer-term problem right now is the trade war, and that's for a few reasons. I mean, the MAX, for all its problems, Boeing has a backlog of years right now. It's not, wondering where it's going to deliver these MAXs that it's producing. Whereas when you think about, especially the 777, let's say, the newer version of it, the 777X, that's a little more scary because you have some rather close-in delivery positions where they're still looking for places to put these planes. And the trade war is certainly unhelpful when it comes to that, just broader global economic consideration. So, the MAX, of course, overshadows everything else. And, the impact of what's happening with the MAX leaks into other parts of the company in terms of Boeing's capacity, let's say, to produce something to compete with that longer-range Airbus 321 that's out there right now. They looked perhaps close to coming out with an all-new aircraft at some point. Now, not so close.
Real quick, what's the timeline as you imagine it, given this idea that the president is going to have this meeting, and how you think that will relate to Boeing and also separately the FAA when they announce, and then what you think Europe and everybody else does?
Yeah, well, it sounds like these planes could be flying sometime soon. The September, I mean, that's sort of an at least date. Once airlines are pulling these planes from their schedule, they're not doing that because they think they have to put them back in. Around the world, it's going to be, it looks like, toward the end of the year. Hard to be optimistic that it'll be much sooner.
And are you of the view that once the FAA approves, everybody else just gets in line, or do you think that we actually go through a whole new process?
I think there will be some lag time. This credibility crisis that Boeing and the FAA have almost put pressure on everybody else to show that they're scrutinizing this in a way that they wouldn't have in the past. That's sort of the price that the FAA is going to pay for how it handled this at the outset.